Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Hanena, if you can touch to your knees, that will be awesome. Do it slowly, spine straight, and try to bend it at the hips. And when you go all the way close to your toes with your hands, then put your head down. And stretch the leg out. Take a couple of deep breaths, and we will repeat the same thing on the other side, okay? Let's get started. Now stretch both the legs. Take a few deep breaths. And let us stand. And we'll now get started with the Surya Namaskara. So how is it going so far? Hello? Everyone can see?
It's good.
Yes, Lakshmi.
Howda, Saridya? Okay, good. So Surya Namaskara start ಮಾಡೋಣ. With the Surya Namaskara, there are actually 6 sets with recitation or invoking the sun god, and we will go ahead and do how much we can for the next 15 minutes. And let me first show the flow of exercises, how it goes. Amele, I'm sure the first time ellargu barala. If people know it, that's awesome. And we will again slowly do it, okay? So let us stand close to the head end of the mat, both feet together, both arms all the way raised, and stand tall, spine straight, and gently and slowly stretch backwards. All the way back as much as you can. And take a few deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first time, just observe what I'm doing. And now straight and bend at the hips. Try not to circle your spine, and then come all the way down. And if you can touch the floor, your toes, or put both your palms on the floor, that is fine too. How much ever your stretchability permits you. And then you take your right leg back like this, and keep this left leg straight at 90 degrees if possible, okay? And then bend. Then take your left leg back, both like this, and go to the fetal position. And then again go back to this pose. And now this is the only exercise in yoga where you don't breathe in or breathe out. Take a deep breath and breathe out everything, and try to touch your chin to the mat and belly raised. The only parts of the body that are going to be touching the floor is your knees and your chin, okay? And take a deep breath, breathe out all the air out, and try to touch your belly to your spine and go like this. And I'm going to show you something here you can watch. So when you're in this position, your hand should be able to go underneath like this. So try to suck your belly as much as possible, okay? And then this is called as the snake pose. Take a few deep breaths. And then this is called as the mountain pose. Take a few deep breaths in and out. And then again, go back to the fetal position. And afterwards, the same leg that you first took back, we want to bring that same leg forward. Again, try to keep it at 90 degrees to the floor. You don't want your knees coming beyond your toes. And then lift, raise the other leg. Bring the leg forward. And then again, go all the way back like we stretched before when we started. And then straight standing position. So now I'm going to do it without speaking. I want all of you guys to have a look at it and we can follow this a few times, okay? And if anybody has issues with the knees and difficulty keeping the knees straight, it's okay to bend the knees and go back, okay? Forward. Take a deep breath, breathe out, and put your chin to the floor. So, ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡೋದು. When you notice it, when it comes to yoga, always it's like a pair of opposites that we do. If you bend backwards, you bend forward. So every single exercise that we do has the combination of forward, backwards, or turn right side, then left side. If you bend your knees, then you stretch your knees. Adhara. So let me go ahead and do this one more time, and then we can all do it together. If anybody wants me to repeat it again, let me know. Om Mitraya Namaha. Everyone doing well? Okay, let me do this next one. And as I do it, let me keep talking, explaining little things. And if someone has questions, they can always unmute and ask. Om Ravaye Namaha. So backward bending as much as possible. And then stretch, bend at your hips and bend forward as much as you can. If you cannot touch your toes or the ground, that is perfectly fine. And now we are going to take our left leg back, bend at the knee, and keep both hands outstretched. And take a few deep breaths. Then take the other leg down, both feet together and on the toes. Next, bend at the knees, touch the floor, and try to touch your forehead to the floor if possible. Then stretch straight again. Take a deep breath and breathe out everything. And then bend at your knees. Try to touch your chin to the floor. And then breathe in and breathe out. And this is called as a cobra pose. And then coming to the mountain pose, you can stand on your toes, or the ideal way is to try to stick your heels to the ground if possible. Take a few breaths. Again, come back, bend at your knees, and same position, try to touch your forehead to the mat. And as much as possible when you're doing this, if you can put your hip on your heels, that would be the ideal position, okay? And then the same leg that you first took back, you want to bring that forward. And then the other knee, other leg. Take a few deep breaths. I hope everyone is following the flow. Okay, so let's do it again. Om Suryaya Namaha. Both arms outstretched all the way back. Do it at your comfort level. Bend forward at your hips and go down, head down as much as possible. Now again, let's take our right leg back. Gently bend at the knees. Again, if you have any health issues, do it at your own pace, and I don't want anyone having pain. Take a few breaths. Now take this foot back. Bend at your knees, touch the floor. Try to sit on your butt with the hip touching the heels, and try to touch the forehead to the mat. Take a few breaths. Breathe in and breathe out everything. Exhale everything. Try to touch your belly to your spine and bend at your knees. Breathe again and try to be at the cobra position. So when you're At the cobra position, your knees will be touching the floor and your elbows will be bent and you're moving forward and head and neck raised. And then let's go to the mountain pose. If you can touch your heel to the floor, that's fine. If not, that's okay. And bend your knees again. The same foot that we took back first, we'll get that forward. Stretch the other leg, bring it forward. Take a few deep breaths in this pose if you can. I hope everyone is able to follow. Om Bhanuve Namaha. And if possible, in each pose, you can take a few breaths, okay? Left leg back. Right leg back. And take a few deep breaths. So when you're doing this, to try not to be like this, don't lift your butt up. Keep everything straight in one straight 45-degree angle. Bend your knees. Forehead touching the floor. Hips trying to touch the heel and take a few deep breaths. And go back again. Take a deep breath and breathe out everything. And knees touching the floor and chin touching the floor. Cobra position again. And go to mountain position. Try to touch your heel to the floor if possible. And back to fetal position. Take a few deep breaths. And the same leg that you took back first, bring it forward, which is the left leg here. And the right leg forward. Take a few deep breaths. I hope everybody is doing well. Om Khagaya Namaha. We will stop after this set of the Surya Namaskara, okay? Always do the Surya Namaskara in pairs. Bend forward. Right foot back, left foot back. Stand, stretching straight. And bend at your knees. Go to fetal position. Try to touch your forehead to the mat. Take a few deep breaths. straight again. Take a deep breath in, breathe out everything. And so doing this exercise that you're coming forward, you will not be breathing in or breathing out, okay? And then go to mountain pose. Bend at the knees and go back to fetal pose. And bring the right leg forward and the left leg forward. Take a few deep breaths. Go up, stretch back as much as you can. Take a few deep breaths. The last one for today. Pushne Namaha. Go all the way back. Stretch, stretch, stretch as much as you can. Come forward, bend at the hips. And try to touch the floor, toes, or just this much. If this is all you can do, that's okay too. Now left leg back. And keep both your hands, palms touching the floor. The other leg back. Stand, stay in this position for a few seconds. Take a few deep breaths. Then both knees on the floor, go to fetal position. Try to touch your forehead to the floor. And go back to the previous position. Now take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out, and bend at your knees. Try to touch your chin to the floor. And then go to cobra position. Take a few deep breaths in and out. And mountain position. Both knees together. And left foot forward, right foot forward. Good. So let's see. I hope everyone is doing well. And let's see, it's 8:44. We will just do 5 rounds of pranayama and finish today's session, okay? Okay, first sit comfortably, whatever position you can, and just relax, take a few deep breaths, and then we'll go ahead and do the alternate nostril breathing, okay? And for the alternate nostril breathing, here, bend both these fingers down, and you're going to first block one nostril and just breathe a couple of times, 2 to 3 times. With each nostril, breathe in, breathe out in the same nostril first, okay? Now block the left nostril and breathe through the nice right one of 3 times. Now let's do the alternate nostril breathing, okay? Let's block the left nostril, breathe in through the right. Then block the right nostril, breathe out through the left and breathe in through the left, and let's follow that sequence, okay? So watch me once. Breathe in, breathe out. So this makes 1 cycle, okay? Let us do 5 cycles of this. So count for yourselves and do 5 cycles. When you're breathing, the most important thing is try to breathe in, and when you exhale, breathe out. The end of the day, the goal should be is try to breathe out as much as you can, and the duration of the breathing out should be more than the duration of breathing in. If we breathe in more and breathe out less, then we have more stale air in our lungs. So the goal is to get in as much fresh air as possible, for which we need to try to breathe out as much as possible out first, okay? So that's why breathe out, breathe in. Okay, so all done. Let us go ahead and finish off with the Shanti mantra, okay? Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Now, rub both your palms together, generate the heat, and go over your face and your chest. And here, like this, hold the wrist of one hand with the other in the back down here and bend forward. And if you can try to touch the floor, that's fine. Otherwise, that's okay. Have a good day, everyone. Idu first class ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು. If anyone has any questions, I have a few minutes for it. You can unmute if you have any questions.
Thank you, Lakshmi Ore. It was very nice.
It was, hopefully it was, this is my first class actually doing like this. So I think it'll get better with each class.
No, I think the best,
It was great.
Thank
I
you.
think the best thing was to just, make this time and be here, right? Be in the moment. So
Yes, that's true. So the most important thing when we're doing yoga is we want to focus on what we are doing on our body and mind, and try to put all the external thoughts, outside thoughts which come to our mind away. Yes, thoughts will always come, but the most important thing is, oh, okay, my mind is getting distracted. Let's me come back and be in this moment, what I'm doing. So we'll catch up 2 weeks from now. And what I will do is I will send all the 12 mantras, that invoke the sun god on the WhatsApp group. And if you guys can all practice it, that will be great. Okay, you can memorize them. So basically it comes to 6 sets, which is 12 of them. And if you can practice that every day, that will be awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.